Welcome to this episode of your Spiritual Business Coach podcast. I am your host, Ashu, and I am the coach for light leaders ready to own their fierce self expression and build audiences that trust you with their eyes closed. We do this by integrating feline energy, which makes it very easy for you to birth match made in heaven offers and whisker-licking good marketing. This episode will be so different than any other episode you have experienced so far on this podcast. In this episode, I am pulling a clip to show you what it is like to get coached with me in real time and how I hold space for you. Let me give you a little bit of background. In this episode, I have Rashmi with me. Rashmi is a coach and a tarot reader, and she is one of the clients I have worked with in so many different containers and is an absolute joy to work with. She came to me with a very specific problem to address. Now, a normal coach who doesn't have the understanding of spirituality would give her tools to, like strategies, tools to address those problems. But you will see how I shift to identifying her belief from the core, and that too in a very short time, because I do not work with your symptoms. Sometimes I do. I love working with the symptoms. But in this case, since I have worked with this client for so long, I needed to address the belief from the core. And the moment that was done, it became so much easier for her to work on the symptom of the problem. Let's dive into it and let me show you the magic we can create in my world. How are you doing? What do you want help with? How can I help you?
Okay, it's so nice to see you after so many times. I wasn't feeling well today because of my periods, but I thought that anyways, I'll just go and talk with Ashu. I'm good, Ashu. How are you doing?
But no.
Yeah, but this particular call, Ashu, I just wanted to discuss something about the content, some of the questions which I have in my mind. So the questions I have for you is that how do you keep creating content on a daily basis? Like, what are the places which inspires you the most when it comes to creating content? And how do you bring what is more alive inside of you into your content? Like, what is more alive and what is going on in your life or in the life of your clients into your content. And I recently loved the speaking reels, like the talking reels you started putting with all the captions and everything. I really loved the vibe and listening to you in those reels.
There's a lot to touch on there. Let's start with the first section of how do I feel alive when I'm creating the content and stuff. I want to ask you this. What makes you feel alive?
Like for me, whatever is going on in my life, the themes that I'm dealing with, or the things that I'm learning, and the things that are making me exciting. Like every day, I learn something about myself, about the world, and about how things are working, and about manifestation, and so many things. And those are the things that make me very much alive. And when I help my clients, and I see what the topics where I help them, and they gain the benefits from it, those are the things that really make me come alive and really make that give me that spark.
So, do you create content around it?
Sometimes, some very less. Like I'm not able to just put out everything. And just like I told you, I'm not able to identify with how can I just bring everything that is alive within me and just put it out in content. Because sometimes I am doing that. Like this month, I created 3 content pieces that were exactly what was going on with my life. And like I just created it like a blog post, but it was something which was alive within me and I brought it out.
So, the first time you ever posed this question to me, it sounded like you were not feeling inspired. But now that we have refined this question, the problem is you're not sharing. You are feeling alive. You're not sharing that you're feeling. You said not always. I don't always share it. Can you tell me what makes you feel like I cannot share it? Maybe not this one, maybe this one will go ahead. What is going on in your brain?
Sometimes I'm confused with the medium with which I want to share the message. Like it should it be a carousel or a reel or a blog post or just a post or and sometimes I get confused that will my audience relate to with what I'm trying to speak to them, or will I be able to convey the message properly out there? Like obviously when we were in the in the program Cosmic Selling Elixir, I created beautiful content and so many people loved it. And I'm still carrying that thing around, and I keep going back to the course. But sometimes I'm not able to formulate how can I bring this out and so that my audience understand it and like relate to it, and in what medium, like which medium should what go. Like maybe that is something which I get confused around.
Yeah, so from that first question, now we've come to this of, do you think it needs to be perfect?
Sometimes I guess so in a way that people can. I just get confused around that. Will people understand what I'm trying to say?
Let's take that sentence, pull it out of the context. Will people understand what I'm saying? Does that ring a bell for you in general in your life? Will people understand what I'm trying to say? Will people understand me?
Okay, in my day-to-day life that
Yeah.
I'm.
Not even right now, in your whole life till this point.
I have I have gone through a lot to make people understand, like my people in my home understand like myself and embrace myself, because like I often say this that I have been criticized a lot for just being myself, and I right now I'm okay with being criticized for being myself rather than being loved for who I'm not. Like I'm completely okay right now with that. But there was a time when it took me almost a year or 2 years, basically 2 years, to make like my people around me understand what is happening with me, what is going on with me. I couldn't put that in words. I couldn't explain what was happening, my spiritual awakening and everything that was happening. I just couldn't bring and put that in words in front of people. And whenever I spoke, everyone was like completely. I just used to see confused looks in their faces and worried.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Have you felt like you've been misunderstood for a very long time in your life, or you felt like people just don't get you? The things that happen to me are different. So they don't, if I speak about it, they would just not get it.
Yeah, it was there. I felt misunderstood. Basically, I have felt being shut down by not speaking because people were like basically my mother. She was very scared and with everything that was happening with me, and she couldn't relate to anything. And that's why I had to shut myself down to not open to her. And so I closed myself because she was so scared, and she just told that if you go out and tell people all these things, they are going to like be superstitious or say other things about us and everything. But obviously, when I came out and I shared, nothing such happened. Some people are going to be people, but nothing such thing happened. But because of that, I was shut down for a long time, for almost 2 or 3 years.
So even though I definitely know you've been working on processing all of those things, but that is now reflecting in your content in a very subtle way of, I will be misunderstood, or people will not exactly get what I'm trying to say. Also that aspect of, I need to speak it in a way that people understand. I need to show them that something in a way that they relate. All of those things are not your lack of expertise in creating content, because you already have a course, you have multiple courses, you are very self-development oriented. The problem that is originating, the root of that problem in content is, I have been misunderstood. People don't generally have the experiences that I have. So I guess there's a concept in the mastermind that I walked you through, you're not that special.
Yeah.
That's going to be the fundamental concept here, that you're not that special. And now you are talking to the people who have willingly chosen to follow you. They are choosing to receive from you in whatsoever language, in whatsoever wording you choose to put it out there. They will get it. If they won't, or they're not your people, like you said, people will be people, they will unfollow and
Yeah.
remove. So your job is not to, because if there was someone else and I didn't know that they are not working on their skills to make content, I would have said you would need to work on your content skills. But for you, I know I have some background information. You know how to create content. You already said you created some content in Cosmic Sales Elixir and you got such great people feedback saying that I love it and everything. So you have that proof existing in this reality. Now the only wall that is being created is by your own mind saying that, and that mind has been built, that subconscious has been built of all that you've been experienced, misunderstood, not just by your family, but not feeling understood by friend groups, not having friendships that honor you of who you truly are. And I love that you're honoring yourself and okay with getting criticized for who you truly are. But that is still somewhere, it's not even about critical feedback. It's just about that programming somewhere gets stuck and we keep reenacting it. Especially when we are traumatized, we keep reenacting the thing that happened with us. And we do the same things. I was reading about something. I'll not go into that here, but you keep doing that same thing of, I need to put it in a way that my mom would understand. I need to help her shut down. That was an experience of extreme, like, body feelings, nervous system not feeling safe, and your body shut down, your trauma response is getting activated. Now your body is repeat, or you yourself cognitively are still repeating the same thing of, I need to put it in a way where people will understand. Even if you are not looking for that external feedback, criticism, you're okay with it. Somewhere we all feel scared, but I know you're not that scared, but that repetition is happening from somewhere, and that is what I was trying to identify with you.
Now I can see the picture. Yeah. Sometimes, whenever I share stories, I have blocked my family for a long time on my stories, but recently I unblocked them because I saw that they have become understanding. They are supportive and they are like able to understand. I am seeing what my mother is also understanding. I bought a recent tarot deck and she was able to tell me everything about the deck. Like, oh, I know this is the card. Oh, I know this is this and this is this and everything. So recently I unblocked them and I can see I can see that I am trying to just even though I have unblocked them, still I'm trying to put the stories in a way that they also understand.
Yes, you are stuck in that response. And also, how we say, your body is stuck in that response of whatever event happened to you, and you're not able to snap out of it. But also, at the same time, if we're looking at from a business angle, not from a body angle, nervous system angle, trauma angle, from a business angle, you're trying to speak to clients who are not your ideal clients. Your parents are not going to buy from you. If they will, then they're your ideal clients, great. But if they're not your ideal clients, stop speaking to them.
Yeah.
Because that is how you are blocking yourself off your ideal clients who would understand. And that's where you will get clients who are going to ask you those questions that you're not so happy answering. They're like, answer it, but I want people who ask me questions that I really love. You might have one or two clients like that made you feel like, oh, wow, I love working with this client because this client expands me. That happens when you are speaking to that level. If you're speaking to this level, then you will get people who will ask you those dumb questions in the tarot readings that you don't like answering. And you feel like, I keep getting people asking the same thing all the time. And I don't want to answer this anymore. And that will get solved when you stop speaking to people who are not your ideal clients.
I got it. I just really saw what was like stopping me over there. And like when you told me, I just saw the picture that yes, this is exactly what is happening. This is why I'm stopping myself from speaking and from sharing what I want to share because that programming is still on loop. I'll go and work on that.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for tuning into your Spiritual Business Coach podcast and for listening to this episode. Now that you've listened to this episode, it means you know what it is like to work with me. And if you felt the strong nudge that, yes, I want to work with a coach who holds this level of space for me, then drop me a message. Come on Instagram, let's have a conversation and let me show you the feline ways of doing business. And if you're feeling a little too generous, I would love for you to drop me a review or rating on whatever platform you are listening this on. If you feel the nudge to tell me what you felt about this episode, and again to inquire how to work with me, drop me a message on Instagram at Listening Stories Untold, and I will see you in the next episode.